Hey guys, um, in this video I just wanted to, I guess, talk a little bit about meditation and practice. Um, I think probably the most important thing, at least for me, in meditation and the Big Sit in particular, has been consistency and discipline. Um, I've always been sort of a rebel with that sort of stuff. I never really liked listening to rules or any of that. I mean, and even in my practice, it's sort of been like, oh, I don't need to do it this way, I don't need to do it that way. And to some degree, I do think that, I mean, I kind of stick to that. But I think consistency is important, and the reason why there's discipline and some degree of order in many spiritual practices is to sort of create some kind of consistent grounding for the rest of the practice. And really by that I mean, if I'm having, like, for instance, I've had pretty bad weeks where things, like, aren't working out, there's a lot of work, and I just feel very stressed out. So, I kind of just get lost in all of that. And then when I think, oh, I better be meditating every day. Well, I mean, if to me, it feels like, oh, how could I meditate like this? But when I do, I think back and I say, how couldn't I meditate like that? What was I thinking? Um, I guess if you are patient with yourself and with your mind and your practice, it will have fruit. You just have to take care of yourself, um, not just physically, but if you want to meditate every day, go ahead, do that every morning. Yeah, you're gonna have bad days still, but at least to me, if I've consistently done it, every day, after a while, it does tend to help, and then I have these really great days where just things just flow, and I just kind of go with everything. Um, and things bother me less, and I'm sure this has happened to you too. But like, it's just very important to continue with your practice, whatever your practice is. Just keep going, and don't worry about any kind of or any kind of end product. Like, oh, am I peaceful now? It just sort of comes up. You just wake up one day and it's different, you know. So yeah, I think consistency, it sort of helps you get through this. I mean, it's sort of, you might say we're looking at meditation as this sort of thing we want to control, like, oh, but in a positive way. Like, take control of your life, meditate every day, actively search your mind, and that's sort of true. But in another way, just the habit of meditating every day and of putting yourself in a different state of mind um, begins to work for itself. It begins to instill habits that are that are good habits that are helpful for you, and they kind of carry you on to the next plateau and to the next one. So it's not something that we have to control totally. We also have to sort of let things naturally occur too, and some things will crystallize and some things will keep flowing. We're sort of like changing the structure of our minds and our habits so that they can transmit or be more of an open vessel to flow and work with other people and with reality, I guess you could say, so we can perceive it clear and also move through it better. It's sort of like learning how to create a good boat in a big sea. It's sort of learning not to always be fighting the waves or thinking we somehow have to control the way every little bit of the boat is moving. Um, if we build the structure in a way that naturally goes with things, we'll find that the wind is gonna take us out, and it's a balance of control and instinct and naturalness and active process of, you know, molding the will, molding the self, helping our ideas form and yet not getting too attached to them. It's all about that balance. I mean, and it really helped me see the middle way, and Buddha's middle way. Much better, I guess. It's very important. Um, even in Taoism, they talk about let things naturally be. and yet they do have practice, you know, so it's sort of a good balance between the two. If you continue your practice without thinking that you have to control every moment of it, and in that sense, if you have a little bit of faith in yourself in the process, if you open yourself up, it begins to take you too, and it begins to take a life of its own, you know, you start to grow. And in that sense, it's sort of like a garden too. Um, we plant the seeds, and we do have some control over it. We have to make sure the soil is good and they're watered, they're just enough, and not too much, not too little. We need to make sure they get plenty of sunlight. We need to make sure there's not too many insects. Keep it clear, keep it natural, yet controlled. That is meditation, that is the practice, and the Big Sit has really helped me learn about this very directly. So I guess that's about it for this video. But I just wanted to share that as sort of a, I don't know, just an insight that I've been thinking about lately. Thanks for listening.